Is it just me, folks? Is it really just me? Or does it look like, even feel like, the creative in this company, WWE that is playing on universe mode when it comes to these tournaments? And when it comes to just any match that they do? Because I got some questions. I got some serious questions for this show's decline. I got some serious questions for this show's decline. But I finished SmackDown this past Friday and just sat there for a minute. I just sat there for a minute, dog. I didn't even do anything. I wasn't angry at this show. To be honest with you, based on how they've been moving lately, I wasn't even shocked. I was just extremely disappointed. It was the feeling that WWE keeps choosing the safest possible direction. They keep choosing the Sesame Street, Big Bird, let me hold your hand, walk down the street to Sesame Street directions when there are more interesting stories sitting right in their lap. And that's the frustrating part, because they know this too, and yet they still drop the ball on stories that's sitting right in their faces. Like Finn Bálor, LA Knight. Come on, man. You could have easily told that story with Finn Bálor winning the tournament. 10 years since he's won the strap or had the universal strap. You could have easily went into that. We'll get more into that later. But when it comes to the King of the Ring tournament here, some of these wins, predictable as they can be. Some of these wins you can see coming so early, it's basically spoiled before the entrance even finish. Like Overcrowded. It's a good chance that Brock may cost him, but we don't know. But some of these outcomes are predictable. WWE has had that problem for the longest time. It's not even predictable in a fun way anymore. It's predictable like, we're going with our default person that we always go with. You know, we always go with the Charlie Flairs. Remember, they used to always go with the Charlie Flairs, right? Whenever they needed to insert somebody in. Y'all remember WrestleMania, right? Charlie Flair inserted in that. Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey feud for absolutely no reason. Benny Mac just tossed them in there. So yeah, WWE did what they do best, and they just picked the WWE answer. That's it. That's all they do. Again and again and again. Same default stars over and over again. Not trusting anybody. That's all they know how to do. And look, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Before anybody starts typing, oh, you just hate Jey Uso. You just hate Jey Uso, Prince. You just being a hater. All that stuff in the comments. Relax. This isn't about hating Jey Uso, alright? Jey is over. Let's keep it a buck. But he's still over. Yes. Jey still gets reactions. That man worked hard. My problem isn't Jey Uso necessarily. My problem is how the company is acting like Jey Uso is the answer to every question they put on the test. Because I'm sitting there watching this match, and let's go back to Finn Bálor for a second. I see Finn Bálor, I see LA Knight, two dudes that have been incredibly patient, bro. Just patient. Two guys they've just been here for years. You know, they're in their 40s now. Two guys that can actually benefit from winning the tournament like King of the Ring. And somehow the answer is always Jey Uso. Like, I don't get this. Like, bro, Aura is not even really where it was at. Even in 2025, man. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. He's back being a lapdog in the bloodline, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. Heel, face, tweeners. I don't know. Triple H doesn't know either, man. His booking is all over the place. Even he don't know who babyface and heel no more, dog. I'm saying he's the most predictable choice. I'm not saying he's a bad choice. I'm saying Jey is the most predictable choice and the most lame brain option, if I'm being honest. It's a difference. Finn winning could have opened the door to a serious singles run and reminded people that he's more than just some lame walking around in underwear who loses the big one every single time, bro. You could have reminded people who Finn Bálor was, who the Prince actually was, man. You could have. But yet you decided to drop that ball. 10-year story for Finn right there in your hands. Just like Shaq going to the free throw line, man. He gonna miss it. He gonna fumble it every single time. Triple H is gonna continue to drop the ball. And look at LA Knight. You know the crowd wants to get behind him. You know The crowd wants to get behind him, chant his name. The crowd already wants to get behind him. He's got everything. The promos are there. Action, the story, everything you need for LA Knight. Sit it right there. The Miz or itself is going to do the rest. Just his presence alone is going to do the rest. But no, they just look at him and say, nah, let's just run the same play we already had. Let's just do it. Let's just run the same play. Same run of the mill, same shtick every day. They didn't turn to Ace Hood at this point. Same old shit, just a different day. Still trying to get it. You know, like what the fuck, man? You know, at some point these tournaments stop feeling like tournaments and they start feeling like 3 H's and his dumb creative team already knows the ending. We're just watching the paperwork being processed. That's it. That's it, bro. There's nothing substantial coming out of these tournaments. It's all about who's trying to actually win versus what's happening in it that's gonna matter. That's gonna actually lead into something bigger. Nothing, bro. Nothing surprising. Nothing at all. And that's the part. That's part of the big issue. Here's part of the big issue. These tournaments, the matches are starting to blend together too much. I don't like it. Fatal 4-ways. It's just a bunch of near falls. Everybody hit their moves. Everybody got to get their stuff in, right? I understand that. Somebody gets thrown outside. Someone forgets they're in a wrestling match for 3 minutes. Then we get a finish. That's it. It's on rinse and repeat. I see why your boy Bobby Monsoon be telling y'all, man, copy, click paste. Click copy, click paste. Because that's exactly what it's like. I swear, these moments during the matches where the referee just look confused as fuck. The referees be looking just as confused as us. I'm sitting there asking, who is even watching these matches through and through just for a banger, a clanger, a janger? I can go to All Elite Snooze Fest. Oh, damn. Where's my pillow at, man? Hey, make sure my pillowcase is clean, all right? You went to the laundry this week? All right, look, I need my pillowcase ready for Wednesday night, all right? Snooze Fest, professional wrestling. I could have went there to get a banger. WWE is supposed to be telling more stories than not. But yet they can't do that. It's all about who's just trying to get to the next win. Who's just trying to win. That's it. Then we move over to Cody Rhodes. We move over to Cody Rhodes and Gunther. A feud that honestly didn't even eat much, if I'm being real. But these two dudes, man, they major cats. They major stars. Championship, see, just let them cook. Instead, they looked at them and said, you know what this needs? Do you really want to know what this needs? This needs an emotional layer. This needs Sami Zayn involved. Who? Boring ass Sami Zayn. That's right. Now we got Sami as a special guest referee. And I understand the story that they're trying to tell. I do. I get it. It's tension there. But it's like they have a habit lately of just taking a story that's already interesting and just adding layers, bro. You know what? They customizing a car in a video game because all they're doing is adding more attachments. At some point, you added so many attachments, you added so many extras that people stopped looking at the car. Now they're just looking at the accessories to the car. Instead of talking about Cody and Gunther, everybody's talking about Sami. And that's kind of a problem. It is. That is really a problem to me. You're not supposed to be having that, though. Nobody cares about Cody Rhodes' title reign. It's his third and probably the worst title reign he's ever had. And I'm a Cody Rhodes fan saying this. This is pathetic. How WWE is done it, bro. This shit is not good at all. You always make everybody else in Cody Rhodes' feuds seem way more relevant, more interesting, and more important than him. In this case, Gunther ain't really up there in excitement levels. But you see, in the past, everybody else that went up against Cody was far more interesting, and their story arcs were far more interesting than his, and that's a damn problem. Nothing else gets to breathe in the show either. You got the Bloodline saga. You got the Miz getting electrocuted by freaking Danhausen of all people. Dude, nobody cares about Danhausen. That was such a corny segment. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man. This is cheeky. This is not getting them anywhere. This is why the ratings look exactly how they look. The roster is not the problem, bro. The talent is not the problem. The crowd ain't always the problem. The story's actually hitting closer than you think. They just need to cap these stories off. Triple H got stuck in the vortex. He got stuck so deep in the bloodline vortex that he doesn't know how to close these angles now, bro. He's leaving them all open. They're so stuck on trying to put the story together, they don't know where the destination is. They don't know where they're going, dog. They don't. They're just driving. They're just doing 60 on 90. And they're just cruising. That's it. They don't know exactly where they're going. They keep taking the safe route. If they keep taking the safest route possible, Jey Uso winning the King of the Ring. You gave him the Royal Rumble last year. Look how that turned out. You gave him Andre the Giant. Look how that worked. You gave him the world title, beat Gunther at WrestleMania. Look how that worked. None of it worked out for you then. This episode is frustrating. It was frustrating. Not the worst episode I've seen, but the most difficult to watch and actually see. Kid Wilson is messing around getting house. What are we even doing? So no, I don't think this is the worst SmackDown of all time. But I do think that it was one of the clearest examples of their biggest problem right now. Too many pieces being moved around, and there's not enough conclusions happening to these stories. The women, nobody cares about the women. Everybody wants to be best friends. Charlie Flair wants to be best friends with Rhea Ripley now. Yay! It's not enough intense moments happening in this show, enough to care. That's my mini ring, y'all, man. Y'all, let your boy know how you feel, man. Leave a like down below in the comments. I'll let y'all.